My youngin, AK, he used to be at Alabama, went to Auburn. It's the reason why he's gone. Right? There's no development there. I mean, they Auburn benefited from the portal last year when it came to the secondary. They got a lot of names, but weren't able to develop. So now I will say this: Georgia getting a visit from this guy. If you watched Army play last year, Elo, this guy looks like, I mean, he plays like a Georgia edge rusher. He plays like a Georgia edge rusher, and I think they will have a good chance to get him. Now you get him, the two guys you lost to, for your for their disciplinary reasons, you don't miss them. And here's what we were talking about earlier. He plans to enter the transfer portal, so it's not official. This was announced 11 hours ago. I don't know if it's official yet. Plans to enter the transfer portal. We saw number 2 last year get on the field, speedster, guy can really stretch defenses. Maybe sees a situation. I don't believe in Gunnar Stockton. I don't believe in Gunnar Stockton for Georgia. This is different. Florida State, a senior guy last year, didn't make a lot of impact. I don't care what you say. This isn't a loss for Florida State. Florida State can do a whole roster turnover and go 3-8 or 3-9, and that's a success for them at this point. That's how bad it is. So, looking at more portal news. This is right here. This is the type of situations I want to talk about. This is what I kind of want to open the conversation for. We got my brother jumping in on this show, man. Y'all already know who it is. Welcome to the stage, the one, the only, the guy, the man, Jason Watkins. What's good, bro?
What up, my guy? What up?
What's good, man? How you feeling, bro?
Man, it's been kind of a long week, but I'm feeling good today. Man.
I feel you, bro. Hold on, let me edit something real quick for you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in all my peeps in here. But Chasen, what's up, my guy?
Yes,
Jordan,
sir. Yes, sir.
Zach, all my people from the AAA fam. Stevie G in here. Then we got Bishop. You already know.
Everybody up in here. Yeah, man, we just talking college ball, man. I'm chatting tonight. Ain't no set program. We just chatting tonight. Just looking at a lot of these guys that's jumping in the portal, man. I was just jumping on the topic. We kind of talked about it last week. Touched on it about these true freshmen guys just jumping in the portal. Gotta getting young opportunities to go out and maybe don't live up to the hype in that first year, but you see them hitting the portal. And Cam Newton spoke on this. Guys not developing, but these coaches are really going out here and selling these false dreams, man, and it's hurting the game of college football. And we're talking about this guy here, man, Adrian Wilson, one of the top receivers from the 24 class, right? Jumps in the portal at Colorado a year after you see like an exodus of just skilled players at the wide receiver position. The year where you're supposed to be the upcoming sophomore, possibly one of the guys in the room, and you have a chance to do that, and you hit the portal chasing a bag you leave Colorado to do it at that. But
where do you think he's headed? Where do you think that's? Have they said anything?
I mean, you got a guy that's talking about going to Oregon, right? You didn't start last year as a true freshman. We know what Oregon is bringing in as a true freshman, Decoria Moore. Receiver. Decoria Moore, I would say he was the number one receiver in this 24 class. I mean, this 25 class, honestly. You got him going there. So what do you do? Like you don't go to Oregon. You can't go to Oregon and be guaranteed a position, right? So what do you do? In situations like that, what do you do? And that's what we're kind of talking about. Like, why is that a thing for college football right now? Why is this being even pushed or accepted to this degree? And so, money grabs, say what you want, money grabs, all that. That's cool, but
here's the thing, and I think if we're gonna get this talking about the money grabs and doing that kind of stuff, and I think you have to obviously it goes to Nico and what we've been talking about this all week. Look, the the situation that we're finding ourselves in, where everybody's freaking out about it and everything else, who put this thing in motion? Who did all this to start with? I tell you who, Tennessee. With Nico, by the way. That was what was going to land their ass in all kinds of trouble, Smook. And I mean, the NCAA's coming out, and what do? They sue. You know what I mean? And so, look, I'm not going to tell you that I think that Nico and his family have handled this well, because they haven't. They ended up hurting themselves on it. Look, I get all that. The point of it is, though, what did you expect from him when that's how you got him? I got Shawty in the comments here. He said, he always says it. He said it a bunch of times, is the way you get them is the way you lose them.
Exactly. And you know what, bro? People forget about that whole Florida debacle with Nico. Like, people forget about that. Jaden Rashada. You know, like
same thing. Yes.
These are guys that continue to Bear Alexander. Guys that just continue. What?
How can you blame it on them, though, when this is how
right? This is adults. These are adults who control the movement of this money, that don't act like they have a bit of common sense. Like, where have you been in life as a money mover in the college football game? If you know anything about college football as a fan, where have you been where having the biggest name has won you the national championships? Right? Guaranteed you. It is not a guarantee. It's not even a ticket seller now, because you can watch everything from your phone in the comfort of your space. You can steal everything now. So what's the gain when you're literally trying to hold on to the last honest piece of what this game is, right? What's the gain to chase a guy like Nico, who isn't proven? He's not proven.
I mean, and I mean that's where I would just tell you that it makes me laugh that everybody is giving all kinds of love to, and then listen, man, I'm a Josh Heupel guy. He's an OU dude. So, but I'm not going to sit here and give all this love to Tennessee when they started all this shit. You know, at first, what did they say? You can't use NIL money as an inducement. What the hell would you call it other than an inducement? What they did, you know, they were paying him his senior year of high school. They were paying this guy, and that was the only way they were going to get him, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people that were on him. He was, I don't know, remember if he was like number 2, 3, something like that, as far as the rankings were concerned. That whole class right now is starting to look a little sus, but you know, but as far as the quarterbacks are concerned, the only one that we don't know for sure what he is yet is Moore at Oregon, and we're gonna find out, because
and I think he's the one that's been secretly really taking advantage of what the portal is. You look at the situation he left. I mean, it's like a portal situation, right? You have moving your staff, everything. That's a portal situation to me. That's a portal, like for a 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid. That's a portal situation. Not, I just started. Not even started. I just got reps last year. I played. Like, this coach paid me in 4 games, gave me 4 different games to where I could have made a sizable impact to be a real projected part of the future of whatever this team is going to be. I didn't take advantage of it. They gave me a red shirt to save me a year. And now I'm jumping in the portal because now somebody says I may have an opportunity to start here, but they can guarantee me at least $8K a week for the next 6 weeks. That's what a lot of kids did just now between the fall and this spring portal, the winter portal and the spring portal. And what is it, about 12 weeks, I believe it was the actual time frame. Yeah. You look at that, you got kids that were collecting what, about let's say max 12K a month, right? 15K for the last 3 months.
Well, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money they used to get. But here's the thing, though, too. And here, the one thing I'll say about Nico, and we don't have to stick it to Nico, but I would just tell you that, look, they're talking about that they were holding out before the Ohio State game. But it wasn't just him. They only threw Nico under the bus, but it wasn't just Nico. It was a number of the players, and I guarantee you it was those defensive guys and your running backs.
Slaughter. I know for a fact. Slaughter. I know for a fact the defensive back, Slaughter, the safety.
Slaughter. Yep.
But that's a guy that's in my opinion,
But guess what? They gave him the money, though. They gave him the money, though. So what did you expect to happen again?
But if you're gonna do it, don't be outrageous. Don't be like you're the guy. Nico is not the guy. Slaughter has proven himself. You're talking about a guy that's been on your roster for what, 2 years now?
Sure.
Come on now, like you have, like, in this day and age,
you better without Nico today, though. Are they better without Nico going into this season? There's no
negative. And the thing is, you don't know what that means, right? Like, was Nico even good enough to make them a 9-win team, 10-win team this year, right? Was this going to be a 6-6 type of year? Because we saw what they lost.
Is what Vegas had them at. Not that matters, but
right. So we I mean, that's just one situation. But then you look at, and like I was saying, this guy, Adrian Wilson. You know, you look at where he's getting a lot of looks from. You know, I think the best fit, let's say schematically, with his skill set, you don't know. You don't know, other than you got to go back to his high school film. And come on, he's a guy that's probably came in 20 pounds lighter last year, 15, 20 pounds lighter.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what's happening in this young man's abilities, his development. Practice film tells one thing. A lot of times when you've already decided to jump in the portal, you're not going out in practice and putting good film out there, you know? So it's predetermined.
He wasn't going to get a ton of time in front of the guys they had in the room last year.
Right. So why not stick it out and be the guy? You got a true freshman quarterback coming in.
Yeah, or because they're probably. Do you think that they end up going with Julian?
Yeah. Go watch Well Off Media.
I know.
You know what's weird? That to me doesn't put teams at it. Like, people are scared that'll put you at a disadvantage. To me, that puts you at an advantage. Right.
Listen, if he's, I've said this. We were talking about this with Keelan Russell and the rest of the crew in there at Alabama. If the freshman's close, you play the freshman, in my opinion.
And you know what? I'm glad that
there's not separation there, right?
I mean, Ty Simpson did what he had to do. I cannot lie, Jason.
I think the Ty's. You got to go with Ty as the starter, but that don't mean he has to end the season as a starter.
And I think people want to misconstrue what we have been echoing. Like, I don't think Ty's trash. I just don't think he's better than Keelan Russell, bro. Like, it's just that's. But can Ty take a Alabama team and win with this roster? Yes. Who couldn't? You know, I feel like Jalen Miro could come back and win with this roster. He won with the roster last year, not even knowing the system. So now you look at what's available, yes. But if Ty had to carry this team, would we be the same confidence? Nope. And would we want Keelan Russell out there? No. I think we're confident in whatever quarterback because of what's around him, not necessarily that quarterback. And when you take that away, if you took away what's around the quarterback, who gives you the best chance to win? And I don't think that's Ty Simpson. I think that's Keelan Russell. I don't even think that's Austin Mack. He showed a lot of bad things. I mean, inconsistencies the last 4 practices of the spring, and they were consistent, inconsistent, like things he kept messing
consistencies. And that's what you're looking for, right? Is how consistent are you in doing the good things and not doing things that are going to get you beat. It's not necessarily that you have to be perfect at everything. You just don't. You got to consistently show that you're not going to make the decisions and make the kind of throws that are going to get you beat.
Right, and that's what I try to tell people, man. It's
Arnold, you know.
This staff, this staff has done a good job as far as the evaluation process. To me, as things continue to just kind of like develop, I think their evaluation process is a lot more thorough than what Alabama fans are used to. And because of that, people are ready to jump on any narrative that highlights the favorable guy or the guy. You get what I'm saying? And that's fine. That's fine. But when you want to
notice where your boy on ESPN was like, I wasn't saying that that Keelan isn't good and can't be, you know, he seems to have rabbit ears there for you, Smook.
On ESPN?
Yeah, your boy. You already know. Hey, come on now.
Text me. I don't know. ESPN.
Come on. Who's
put it in the private chat. Don't get me. Big Bama, what's good, bro?
Your redheaded quarterback love.
Hey, Big Bama brand. Hey, I said if he came back, he gone. He already did the workouts and everything. We could talk about it all day now. He gone. I signed the papers. Big Bama, you know it. You
Yeah.
know it. Oh, come on. Yeah, yeah. I just seen your private message. You heard me, Jason?
Huh? Yeah.
You should be able to
You
send
want
the
me to
link.
send it to him? Okay. Yeah.
You can't see the invite link.
No, I got it. I got it.
All right.
Let me grab it.
He talking about. I know. I just wanted him to say it. I just wanted him to say it because it's funny. It's funny, Thad. You know why it's funny. You know why it's funny. And Big Bama Brand might have heard it too. Why
Always
you playing,
college
Jason?
football. Come on.
Hey, why you playing, Jason? I had some shots thrown my way.
I know.
Little old me.
No,
So,
I laughed and laughed and laughed.
I had some.
I was watching it the other day with Greg.
Was,
Greg McElroy, and he was not being as, I don't know,
McElroy-ish.
Yes, he was. It was funny.
Hey, but you know what's funny?
You go the guy with most experience. I don't know though. Here's the difference, Dino, and here's what I get what you're talking about. I understand what you're saying. Is he as dynamic as what you're gonna get with Keelan Russell? I think that's an easy answer.
You know what?
He can bring something to the table that I don't think that Ty can.
You know what, Jason? I think it's more so of a fact like last year. It was a close race. We're not denying that. And I think Bama Nation watched me cover that quarterback battle last year. Right? Mm-hmm. And by week 2, because of Ty's consistent inconsistencies and not being able to do anything extra to right those wrongs, that's what really lost him the job to Jalen Milroe. Week 2 in fall camp. Right? Everybody's talking about how good his arm looked in spring and all this. We talked about his passing touchdowns during spring, how good and smooth he looked with the first team.
That's what he was talking about. That's what Greg was just talking about. He was like, well, there's a reason why they made him the backup last year. And I'm like, weren't you the guy that just came and basically tried to set? And I know and I wasn't the only one, but a lot of people were driving it because of my pre-spring. This was before the first snap was taken, Jason. And he wanted to come out with this. I feel like it's Ty. Then he backed it up and doubled down. It's going to be the guy. But when you have Ryan Grubb coming out and his statement says, if we had to play next week, it'll be Ty. Like that's not that to me. That still doesn't say that's my guy. No,
like, to me
that keeps Ty from going into the portal.
and it's not a bad thing. Like that's a smart way. But that's not even a bad thing for Ty because that lets you know.
But it keeps Ty from going into the portal.
It lets you know. Besides that, I don't think Ty's a portal kid. I think mentally, he's into completing his job. To me, that gains him more value on the back end than it does. You get what I'm saying? Especially if he's graduated, redshirt senior with a 5th year.
I'm going to tell you at this point, I believe that he's probably going to start off the year. Again, I don't know that
he has to.
Year, right? Yeah.
He has to, Jason. He has to. It would not be right for him not to, especially when
they have to have some packages for Keelan. They have to have some packages for Keelan.
They will.
You're not going to waste it. You're not just going to have him sit there all year and not see what you can come up with. I think he's just too good. He's just, and everything you've seen from him and we're talking about, you've been at practices watching this stuff. You know exactly what you're seeing out there, and it's not a big separation.
It's not, man. And my thing is, you see the separation because Ty's been there, so you see where he's come from. And if I was to place a freshman Ty up against the true freshman Keelan, it's not even close. So that's in my mind. If I'm thinking like that, Jason, little old fake coach, like y'all call me fake coach, Smook, right? I'm the fake coach that don't know nothing about. If I'm thinking like that, what do you think? The guys that get paid to do this and have to put the best product on the field and have hundreds and thousands of fans, alumni, boosters and stuff pour money into this. What do you think they're thinking? Wait, this kid is really like pushing my 4th year guy. Like this Ty's in his 4th year of college.
Well, and Byron just said it. He just said it. That's not what he said. Ryan Grubb did not say he was QB1. He said if they had to pick a guy for tomorrow, it would be him. This spring, it's the spring. You know what I mean? We're talking about the spring. So,
and that's not a bad thing, chat. Like, I'm glad. What did I say? I want people to go back to the last live stream
you need
before
to show
spring
him
practice.
how to be a college football player for the first few games at the least.
Come on, Mal. Come on. And we got to understand. I said this from the jump. Ty has to show that he is not going to do anything to lose the job. The moment he opens the door and Keelan or Austin seizes it, it was going to be a battle. And he did not. When they had an incompletion, or he had an incompletion, they had an incompletion. He didn't turn around and have another one. He got a completion. And that forced Keelan to follow up. That forced Austin Mack to follow up. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not doing anything no different than the guys that started off behind you. You're doing enough to stay right there. And that's a good thing for Ty. That's a good thing for Ty in my personal opinion.
The fact that he didn't crumble, right? The fact that he hasn't crumbled under this pressure of being the guy when you've got a 5-star coming in, number one recruit kind of type of deal. Hey, the fact that he hasn't fallen apart and shown that he can't handle it at all, like Jackson Arnold. You know what I'm saying? It's because I'm hearing Jackson Arnold is struggling with old Deuce.
Bro, I'm going to tell you right now, Auburn fans, the crazy ones, delusional ones, we know that's like 99% of their fan base, first of all. But the crazy delusional ones are even out. Like, they're like, wait, we might have messed up. The spring game did not look good. That spring practice did not look good at all.
He was hurt. So he's already hurt and sitting out.
And that's what I'm saying. So now you've used a lot of your assets to go and get this guy. What are you going to do now? And Deuce, I mean, going to be good. Not ready.
I'm going to tell you what Marcus Dent said. He had him on his 7-on-7 team as an 8th grader. He had a junior playing that was trashing it, playing terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He puts Deuce in, they didn't lose again.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think this is the year for him, though.
He said, I'm telling you right now, he's not walking into that locker room thinking he's number 2 at anything.
Oh, I guarantee it. And you know, this class was different with quarterbacks. You get what I'm saying? This 25 class was different with quarterbacks. 24 had a few, but 25 had some dogs, man. But without further ado, y'all, man, we got a special guest coming up. My God, man, I think we've interacted once on screen, but I always seem to pull up when y'all get him on over there. And he's a pup. Nah, he's a bulldog. He's a bulldog. I can't do that to him. He's a real one. He actually donned the armor and went to battle for them mangy mutts.
Goats.
But shout out to him. He's here on the Coach Smooth Network, and y'all know we got some Bulldogs in the AAA family. So y'all show some love, show some AAA family love to my guy, man. Shawty, what's good, gang?
Gentlemen, what's happening? What's
up, Thad?
Hey, he got that good mic like me, Jason. You need to turn your volume up, Jason. I thought it was me, but no, I can hear him perfect. Let me turn you up. I got you, Jason.
Oh, I feel like I'm up.
I got you.
What's up, Shawty? What's up?
Hey, man, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, man. You know, I always take shots, and I felt the shots when y'all brought me on. It's all good. You know, I can take it. I love it. But, man, I'm happy to be here and interact here, man. I just kind of want to, you know, I have a lot to say a lot, but I just want to be here and kind of hear what you guys have to say. And I'm kind of just piggyback off what you guys say. I'm happy to be here, man.
Rock out, man. We were kind of heavy on the topic of Georgia, man. And that's a, you know, Bama Georgia fans, we always go at it. Because we're kind of like a mirror. We try to say we're mirror images of each other, with us being a big brother. And in recent history, let's say recent, y'all starting to make the push to trying to assume the top, you know, of college football. So I look at it and I look at what's happening though. And there's always going to be jokes about the Athens Police Department and all that stuff. But I really believe we're starting to see like a similar thing of the latter Saban years happening at Georgia right now. So talk to me, man. I know you still connected. Talk to me, man. What's the temperature around UGA football? You know, even post spring, because we saw Gunner and he looks like Gunner Stockton. Nothing special. You know, what is this situation? What is Georgia feeling? What's the feelings around Georgia?
Again, I appreciate y'all having me on. I didn't know this was going to be a Georgia thing. I didn't know.
Just everybody. We talking college football.
You already knew it was bullshit.
Like I said, I thought I was going to piggyback off what you guys were talking about. But since you brought up the question, I just want to, really back a little bit into some of the intro you brought in. Great intro, by the way. Thank you. But you said that you guys, you didn't say no names. I'm glad you didn't say no names. You say you guys were the big brother, as in. I just want to say in recent times, I can't say. I just want to know what you mean by that. Granted, you have had the head-on-head matchups. We have won the shebang bang, which you play for. So I'm just saying. I just,
2 out of how many?
Tomato. We split. I don't know. We don't want back to back, y'all. I'm just saying. Recently.
Can we do this for like 3 minutes? Let's do it. Two out of how many? How many years did it take y'all to get them to? While we was out here dancing all over, everywhere. We took one from the SEC. We went to the Big Ten and took one. We took one from the ACC. We went and took them from every conference. While y'all was sitting back there lying and wait, doing what?
Coach.
I'm just asking.
Now this is since this is my first time being in your audience. I'm gonna be easy.
Hey, you family, brother. This is your house. Me casa su casa.
So all I'm gonna say is this is what I want to do. Just stick to the script. You said recently, so I'm talking about the last 4 or 5 years. So I'm sticking with what you said. You the one just moved the goalpost. You literally just moved the goalpost.
All right,
you said recently. And recently, in the last 5 years, we have won 2 national championships. Now, when I brought that up, all of a sudden, you moved the goalpost.
Let's not move the goalpost. Let's bring the goalpost back. Let's do this. Let's bring the goalpost back. Recently, Alabama versus Georgia. What we talking about?
No.
What are we talking about? What you mean?
Hold on, coach. I literally said if you talking about head-to-head matchup, I gave you your credit. I said you guys have beaten us head-to-head, but I said we have won what you play for though. We play for the whole thing.
You play to win the game. At the end of the day, that's what we play for. We play to win the game.
And we won the big game.
No, but did y'all beat us?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so once again, little brother, it's okay that y'all won the game. You represent the family. Represent the family. Represent the family.
That's one way to look at it. If you want to look at it that way, that's okay. But we look at it. We look at it from a ring standpoint. That's how we look at it. But I understand.
It's okay. I mean,
you got to take what you can get.
What do you mean from a ring standpoint? Because
that's what they are.
if we talking from a ring standpoint, I'm pretty sure our trophy room is a lot more brighter than the one in Athens. I guarantee that.
Again, I'm just going out what you said recently. That's all.
I'm just saying you bringing up ornaments and stuff and all this stuff. Like what's that got to do with 41 to 34 in 2024? Like that's recently, right?
I have no argument. I'm just going out what you were saying recently in terms of being a smaller, bigger brother. But I didn't want to make this about Georgia.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it because little brother always gotta try to beat their chest. That's what happens when they come in the room. You know how it is. You got your big homies. You go back home. You came back from college. You done hit the weights a little bit. You wear more tank tops than you usually do. That's what Georgia is about. We understand.
Coach, Coach, can I ask you a non-biased question, Coach? And even for the panel and the people in the audience and Jason as well, I'm gonna ask you one question, and I want you to just be real honest, just honest as you can. Right now, when you're talking about coming into this particular season, the 2025 season, who you think is considered going to be the better team, Georgia, Alabama?
Unbiased.
This season?
I said what I said. I can say
unbiased.
It again.
No, I heard you. I just want you to. I need you to understand. I'm being unbiased
because I ain't got a dog in this fight.
Go, Jason. Go ahead.
I think Alabama's the better team.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know that they win in Athens necessarily, but I think they're the better team.
That wasn't what I asked, but I get
that's what you were going to lead to.
But I like your personal opinion, though. That's cool. That's cool.
Now, on paper,
I asked with the consensus who people think is going to be the better team, but that's your personal opinion.
Like for the next however long, how are we talking about?
Oh no, coming into this season.
Oh, this season I think
so Alabama will be ranked. In your opinion, Alabama going to be ranked in front of Georgia coming into.
No, I don't. I don't in front of Georgia.
Yeah, I don't even base like team quality of team based off of rankings.
That's why I worded the way I did. I didn't ask your personal opinion. I asked with the consensus. What do you think people
I thought it was
think?
A personal opinion. Oh, I think Georgia's number one right now, aren't they?
Right. But I appreciate your personal opinion too. Now I know where you feel, where you stand. Okay.
So
where you at, Coach?
I got a question. You kind of moved the goalpost there because
no, I didn't. That's why
preseason rankings don't determine who the best team is. Let's just make that.
I never asked about preseason. I just use preseason rankings as an example. So okay. What I said was I said between Alabama and Georgia, which two teams between the two teams you think the most people you think coming into the 2025 season, you think who's going to be the better team? Bama. Now I didn't. Okay.
Can I give my reasons? Just real quick.
And I got them too, so go ahead. Yeah.
One, people are going to ride on the fact that Kalen DeBoer in year 2 has had the best year 2 win record amongst all college football coaches, active head coaches right now. Best year 2 win record at all 3 FBS stops since he's been a college coach. And that's a cumulative of over 35 games now. And he's only lost 4 games. Well, he had only lost 4 games coming into last year. I mean, last year he lose 3. So you talking about 7 games over a 6-year time span. That's kind of hard to beat. And then you give him a talented roster like Alabama. There's no question the number 2 rated roster in the country right now on paper going into the portal. So those are my 2 main reasons. We could talk about other things, matchups and all that, but those are my 2 main reasons compared to what Kirby Smart has.
I would go a step further than that. I mean, I'm not even talking about his past record because I don't really know that matters. But what I think is this: they've got definitely better receiving room than what you got at Georgia right now. We've seen proven receiver room at Alabama that we haven't seen at Georgia in the past couple of years. Haven't seen it, right? The offensive line I think has come together, and they have whether or not it's Ty Simpson or Keelan Russell, and I think early on it's going to be Ty Simpson, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some Keelan Russell in that game at all. And do I think Gunnar Stockton's good? I do. I think he's good. I don't know what he is for sure though, and I don't know what kind of weapons he has. Defensively, you guys are pretty new on defense. I think that the reason that you're going to have a lot of people ranking Georgia number 1 is because they were in the playoff a year ago. Bama wasn't, right? And they had their quarterback got hurt. Whatever, you can say what you want, and then they're giving it to Kirby Smart on being the best coach in the country. But not for nothing, but Kalen DeBoer's undefeated against all these damn high level coaches except for Jim Harbaugh. He's 2-0 against
bro. Are you forgetting that Kalen
against Dan, or 3-0 against Dan Lanning?
Kalen DeBoer beat Kirby Smart in T-Town on a 3/4 tank of gas, right? Hadn't even got in 4th gear, a 6 speed. He had it in 4th the whole time because we just couldn't get over the hump. Second half, he showed it. So many different flaws, and Kirby couldn't figure it out. That's been his problem. When it came to coaching, winning the coaching matchup, Kirby has never won a coaching matchup. Never. It's always been the talent.
A lot of that had to do with the fact that he just has this thing with, and it's in T-Town, by the way, that last year. But I would say this. I will say this though. If I feel like I could be wrong about anything in this freaking college football season, it would be that. I could be completely wrong about Georgia. I still think I think Alabama has the number one roster. There's no two ways around that.
They had it last year too.
George,
not when you lose 84% in production.
Ohio State had the highest paid roster, but
they had the most talent.
You know what?
Had the highest rated.
I take that back. It was the year before that Alabama had.
Yeah, with Kool-Aid and all them boys. That's the year.
I take that back.
But I do think that again. But Georgia, we're talking here. I mean, we're talking 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Ain't a whole lot of difference. But what they have, I think you have some more proven guys on both sides of the football right now. Now, I think, does that mean that Kalen DeBoer is a better coach than Kirby? No, not necessarily. I think, but he's beaten him so far. And we've seen that Kalen DeBoer, yes, in his second year. I think offensively with Ryan Grubb back in the building,
he beat up that year we won the SEC.
Ryan Grubb being the offensive coordinator.
No. I'm talking about the boy beat Georgia that year they won the SEC.
Last year.
That year Georgia won the SEC.
Yeah. So I mean, what's your point?
Y'all.
I heard you.
Okay.
I heard you. I also saw you lose to Lane Kiffin for the first time ever.
Right. Like,
that year we won the SEC.
I feel you. I feel you.
So when you win the SEC, are you not considered the best team in the conference?
Not necessarily.
They're not bringing everybody back.
Hold on. We're not. So y'all want to see how analytical y'all see? When I ask y'all the question, y'all get all. When you
the best team in the SEC lost to two other teams that weren't playing for that don't make sense, bro. That don't mean you're the best team. You had your day. You had your day that day, just like Oklahoma had their day. You think, Jason, was Oklahoma the better team than Alabama last year? Were they
overall? No, but they had the better game plan that night.
They had the game. That one game. I guarantee you, Oklahoma played Alabama week 2. That's a different game. It's a different game.
I'm not even getting into the X's and the O's.
Georgia was the best team. They won it. They won it.
And the minutia things. All I'm saying is you have a conference. At the end of the year, you give the trophy to the best team in that conference. That's what you do. You play a whole season, and whoever wins, you give them the trophy, that number one trophy, to the best team in the conference. That's what you do.
You won the conference.
So why all of a sudden now Georgia wins?
He don't want to talk about like
now Georgia win. Now you want to get into the minutia of things.
What about 2025? Because that's a Georgia thing. Terrible. You know how bad they hang on to stuff. You know how long they hung on to their 40-year drop. They hung on to it for 40 years. They talk about 82 for 40 years, bro, and they use that in fight.
Jason and Coach.
Listening to you, man. I'm listening to you.
Who else do you give the number one? Who you give the first place trophy to?
Can you tell us about this 2025 season? Hold up. You won the SEC. We talked about it.
I just asked
you won the SEC and you lost to Notre Dame in the playoffs. Congratulations.
Ask me a question. I'm hearing you.
Yeah,
you won the SEC and you lost to Notre Dame in the playoffs. Something Bama has never done.
See that look, Coach.
Bama has never lost to Notre Dame.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Jason, you see what Coach did? He don't went past the SEC. Now he don't went to a place where we don't know. Now he don't went to a place we don't lost, so he can talk about it. You see what I'm saying?
Win the ones that matter.
Conversation shit.
I thought y'all win the ones that matter, bro.
Y'all terrible, man.
I'm trying to move to the present. You want to talk about the past? Let's talk about all the past. Let's talk about how y'all dropped the ball against Notre Dame in the playoffs. Since you want to talk about so much about Georgia and they rings and all this stuff, and want to brag about winning the SEC, right? Right. Let's talk about how y'all went to the playoffs and folded.
Coach, you know what, Coach? I can tell you that all the Bama players were watching it like us.
Facts. Watching y'all get drugged. Up and down that field.
So you know, at the end of the
You want
day,
me to tell you how I felt?
so at the end of the day, y'all really can't say nothing. Y'all
What you
watching
mean?
like
We got to experience something we ain't experienced in years.
all the
Y'all been doing with us for years.
Look, you see how you did it, Jason? All of a sudden, we got something to experience. We experienced in
we
years.
finally got to see what it feel like to watch from the outside looking in, like Georgia fans been doing for the past however many years before they last two.
I tell you what, Bama won in the playoffs.
Oh well, it happens. Who won the first? Who was the first SEC team to win a college football playoff?
Go with that. You can't do that playoff because you know damn good and well there were some teams in that playoff field.
And he know it. He know that's the only reason they was as seeded as high as they was. Because if it was really strength of schedule, you lost two of the biggest games on your schedule to the teams that really matter. You didn't beat nobody that matter in the SEC last year, Georgia. Who did you beat last year that mattered?
This is what I'm gonna tell Coach and Jason and to this audience. When I tell a lie, I be quiet. I ain't told a lie yet. Everything I said been true. You just mad the truth. You don't want. I've been saying the truth. Have I told a lie yet? Where have I said that has not been truthful?
You won't acknowledge other truths though. What happened to Georgia against Notre Dame?
See what I'm saying?
What happened to Georgia last time they played Alabama?
Listen.
What happened to Georgia last time they played Alabama?
Nobody said I told a lie. Nobody said. So why you mad at me? If I'm just being honest and telling the truth.
We're not telling lies either, though.
Exactly. That's why he felt real.
No, you always do that telling lies.
This is what Georgia fans do, Jason. This is what
neither one of you guys are acknowledging what I'm saying. Y'all just want me to agree with all the when y'all say something bad about Georgia, I just supposed to agree with it.
Joe, bro, can we move on? Like this fan, this Auburn Doom Forever said, can we move past 2024? Because 2024 don't mean nothing about the lack of quality quarterbacks you have in that room. Talk about the quarterbacks. Talk about the running backs. What's going to happen with your receiving core? Will you have any secondary guys? Right? Will you have any guys in the secondary that can actually keep up with anybody in the SEC? Talk about Georgia. That's what the conversation was supposed to be about.
So for real, real talk. We talking about real football now for real.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
So what's
you remember Smoke? You remember back in the day, you'd be like, nah, for real.
Yeah. You know, I thought we were just kicking the shit.
Every time. This is why we love it.
Yeah, but we talking about real football. Yeah, I love
fair.
But yeah, we talking about real talk. What's your football question? Real talk.
Yeah, I know you got Branch. You know, we excited about seeing Zachariah Branch, but what's going to be, you know, I think Nitro Tuggle was the next one up, honestly, above Branch. I think he had the highest upside as far as impact.
I think he hit the Porter today, to be honest.
They said he was planning on it. It ain't official yet. So, and you know, Kirby got a way of keeping good wide receivers and then not using them.
We did that last year with Nitro.
That's what I'm saying. So, how does this offense look for Georgia coming out of spring, man? I didn't watch them very closely. I just followed how I follow, but get a people. We got Georgia fans in the chat. And before you do that, let me give a shout out to we got 276 total people watching between all four platforms or 4 pages. You got 189 on Twitter for myself, 49 on YouTube. Jason got 20 on Twitter, 24 on YouTube. Y'all continue to like and share, retweet, repost late night college football talk. We got Georgia represented, we got Bama represented, we got Oklahoma represented. Talking college football. Talk to us about Georgia, bro.
Yeah, man. You know, I think this is a situation where, you know, it's the springtime. You know, if you know about big time college football, you know, the spring is not necessarily a situation where you're gonna, you know, see a lot. It's going to be a lot of vanilla things. You're really just out there to look for looks and get certain guys looks and certain kind of snaps in certain situations. But ultimately, man, you know, Garner is a guy that's been in our system for a long time now. I think we can run everything that we want to run with Garner. I just think he helped open up actually a different aspect of our offense that we haven't had. And I think he'll help us lean back into a situation where we got away from. Which I think having a guy like Carson Beck, you know how it is when you got a guy who, possibly, you know, top 5, top 10 quarterback. You know, you want to air it out, blah blah blah. And I think we lost a little balance. I think we were more 60, you know, maybe 40 pass run, and that's something that has never been our strength. Now, when you're talking about winning the whole thing, I think we, you know what I'm saying. I think we really upgraded. You know, you took a shot at our receiver room. Granted, to Jason's point, he made a good point. It's not been proven. We just talking about what's on paper right now. Everything is on paper. You know what I'm saying? Just as a collective, because everybody got a new collective coming out. But just as a collective,
what I was trying to say though was that
I was giving you credit.
Receiver room, I haven't seen. We don't know anything about any of those guys really, except for Zach Branch that he can return kicks.
That's what I'm saying. I was giving you credit. I was giving you credit. I wasn't knocking what you were saying. And to your point,
yeah. And I mean, I know they recruit well, so I get it.
and like I was saying, but just to his point, we look good on paper, but it hasn't been proven. We got, the one thing I do like about what we do have in terms of the receiver room, we got, 6'4", 6'5" guys, which are big, long radiuses, right? So your quarterback doesn't have to be as accurate as you would like for him to be with the bodies that you have. You don't have to worry about getting as much separation just because now you got bodies, which, I don't know if you know about basketball, you can almost, pick, you put bodies
box out, jump ball. Yeah.
So I just think from a passing standpoint, even with the 50-50 ball, deep balls, a lot of back shoulders, all that helps with accuracy. And I think that's something that we try to display in the spring game by throwing the ball 72 times in the spring game. And granted, our running backs, we're a little banged up at the running back position. So you don't want to have, no collisions for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what we were just talking about. Georgia's going to recruit running backs, but this is a cause for concern with Branson Robson here in the portal. You only got, I don't think they have the freshman listed on here, but you're going to have
we got both. It's a reason why he hitting the portal. For listen, everything is. It's listen. You're a guy. This is your third year coming in, and you been hurt. We got young horses coming in every year, and they still in snaps.
Frazier, I was just talking about. I couldn't remember the guy's name, but I'm looking at the roster now. Nate Frazier.
Well, he's going to be a one back. That's the one back.
Yeah, and to me, you look at it. I think Georgia had a similar situation that Bama has this year with having Branson Robson in their room, where you got Jan Miller and Richard Young, two guys that can be 1A backs, but your most explosive guy, in my opinion, in this day and age, you want him to be your 1B guy. You don't want him to be your bell cow. You want his 15 to 20 carries to be after.
We're not going to have a bell cow.
And that's the problem with and I think that's the problem with what's happening at Georgia. You're not getting the quarterbacks to make that full transition. You have yet to see Kirby go and get the quarterback and dial in and get that marquee signee quarterback that could really transcend your offensive game plan. Nor, I don't believe he's winning that the staff at Georgia has went and invested in an offensive coordinator that's really taking on the concepts and the changes, the nuances of the game.
I went on Jason. I think Jason had some. I went on Jason.
Oh, what? Oh, the question I had?
Oh no, yeah. I thought you were about to say something. I said I was gonna wait to reply to what he said to.
No, reply. Please reply. The question was for you. Go ahead.
I think what you said. I think what you said was very legitimate. You know what I'm saying? I can argue either way, and I'm not just being a Georgia fan here because being a Georgia fan. I have my gripes too.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I would say is this right here. Just speaking out the recent years, I mean, ultimately, what the man has done, I can say what I want to say, but who am I? The man done won 2 national championships recently. I think whatever he doing is whatever he doing and it works. I'm not saying you don't have to evolve and change. I think he's been part of it. I think he's been part of the evolving and changing as a coach. But ultimately, I just think with what we do, we don't necessarily have to have that dynamic guy at quarterback if we can put the pieces around him. I think we can have a guy that's good. And I think that's just like Gunner. I'm going to be honest with you. Gunner prolifically as a passer, he's not Carson. But I think Gunner starting to have much better toys, meaning receivers and things around him, the running back position, than Carson had. But to go back to your point, I do think Stetson brought a different dynamic to our offense that we didn't have, but he also didn't have the same toys. He had some good toys, for sure, great. And that's what I'm getting back to, though, having those toys. But I don't think you have to have a dynamic quarterback to win a national championship. Ohio State quarterback wasn't great. Notre Dame quarterback wasn't great.
Yeah, but he had but Ohio State had Jeremiah Smith, and you just could throw it up and let him go.
No. I'm talking about the quarterback position.
But that's what we're trying. That's the point I think Jason was getting ready to make. Like, I can't look at Georgia's roster.
Quarterback matters.
I can't look at Georgia's roster
but I'm saying he don't have to be dynamic. Like, to your point, if you got better toys, that's what I'm saying. If you got guys like you talking about, that's what I mean by better toys. I'm sorry, I speak in metaphors. I apologize, but that's what I mean by better toys.
We get what you got.
So that's what I'm saying. So you don't take a dynamic quarterback to win it. If you got
who are these better toys? I'm looking at Georgia's roster right now. Other than Zachariah Branch, like we said earlier, who are these toys? And then you got to think offensive line plays a huge part. That's why I believe Ohio State was able to, turn over that bad game that they had early in the season, because they had so much experience, quality depth at offensive line that they, partially was developed, but then they went in the portal, got two guys that just plug and play and fit the system. You surround them, and then you get a guy like Will Howard. If we talking, in my opinion, Carson Beck, skill set wise, no arm, first of all, but just smart. He knows how to be in the game. Timing is his thing. Kind of like Mac Jones to me. I was never used on Mac Jones, but Mac Jones was the smartest guy on the field every time he stepped on the field when it came to running the offense. So in 2020. But I look at what Carson Beck, you look at Carson Beck, he going to go to Miami and probably crap the bed, coming off of surgery. Never really had a great arm talent. And that offense was not prolific last year. So, I mean, look at it. Gunnar Stockton coming in this year, new offensive lineman, no production out in the wide receiver room, turning one of your backs in production backs. Come on, man.
They're young running back, yeah.
I like Nate Frazier, but can he do it? We've seen what happens to Georgia backs when you got to do it.
I like Nate a lot.
Me too.
So
I wanted him at Bama.
So, Cole, how many games you see are winning?
I see Georgia going 8. I give Georgia 8. And I'm gonna pull his head up and tell you why. Oh, he hurt. He hurt off of that one.
I already know why.
All right.
But I can.
I got a new question for who's got the best defense in the SEC?
Shoot. Let's talk about it, because there's some names you can throw up there that would surprise a lot of people when I said it, but you pay attention to how they played last year, and it wasn't because their defense was trash. And that's Florida. That's Florida.
That's one of them.
That's Florida. And I hate to say it, I think started to feel like me. I hate Florida. But you look at them, if Florida had any lick of an offense last year,
it's legit.
It's a lot of their games look a lot different. I'm not saying they win, but if they had a lick of an offense, those games, and this is a team. Come on, everybody. We all on this panel was joking about Florida's gauntlet of a schedule. If they was lucky to get 2 wins, Billy Napier. Exactly. And he handled it last year with a lot less assets. I think he might have done something down there in Florida.
I'm going to tell y'all now, Oklahoma has the best defense in the league.
I'll give you that one.
Oklahoma has it.
I want to see what they do about the linebacker core. I want to see how that turns over, because that's always been
the only one that they don't have back really is Stutzman, which Stutzman was a big piece of that. But Kip Lewis is back. You've got Kendall Dobie coming back. He looks completely healthy. So he was at Cheetah. They've got some guys. And listen, hey, wait for the name. Kendall Daniels, 6'5", 240, gone from safety to linebacker. That he's probably going to be playing a lot of Cheetah and some stuff. And then Marvin Jones, I think he's a gravy guy. I think Marvin's a gravy guy. But with R. Mason Thomas and the way that D-line, the interior of the D-line is, I think, for sure the best in the SEC. But I think
a lot of it can be based off schedule too now.
Okay. Well, Oklahoma's playing all but one or two.
Oh, y'all got a pretty tough schedule.
It's a tough schedule, but their offense is going to be all new quarterbacks, first-year quarterbacks starting, except for Lenore Sellers and Nussmeier. now that Nico's out. I mean, now that Nico's out.
So there's just so much quarterback change in the conference. I think that's
in the
really
conference. I think this is going to be exciting, just like last year with the
it's gonna
first
be a
year of the
fun
new playoff, the expansion.
Yeah,
I think this year last year with no divisions in the SEC was different, because bringing Oklahoma and Texas in with no divisions, that was different. The seeing it how you saw how wide open it was in week 7 to see who was going to be playing in the SEC championship. That was huge. So I think this year is going to be a lot more interesting. You look at the matchups though, like you got Georgia, Auburn in October. Like, that's crazy. Second week of October, Georgia, Auburn. Come on, dog. We used to having that like what? The first week of November, ain't it supposed to be? Georgia, Auburn supposed to be first week of November.
It's a good
But I'm talking about Oklahoma. Y'all, what's
Auburn's
Oklahoma's
defense is nice too. Auburn's defense is nice.
I think they lost a lot from last year.
I'm gonna go with Florida, man. To be honest,
I like Florida. I'm telling you, I like Florida. Oklahoma, Florida, right there, neck and neck for the top defenses in the SEC for me. And then right there
with their schedule is the only thing that makes me second guess it, just because of the numbers. I think at the end of the day may catch up with them.
You think so? I mean, open up against Illinois State, and I'm gonna share this real quick. Open up against Illinois State, then you got.
Look, I guarantee you they got a tougher schedule.
Michigan.
And yeah.
Michigan.
You
You
got
get
a
Michigan.
tougher schedule than Texas's ass does. But
Is that a neutral site? Michigan game, or they coming to y'all?
It's in the Palace.
Ooh.
Hey, guy, that's a great question. Somebody asked too about the panel, about which team has the most improved for 2025. That's pretty
Most
good.
improved for 2025. Now, I'm gonna answer for what it is. Florida. I say Florida because I think they went 6-6 this year, right?
Yeah,
I think Florida getting one more win this year is a huge improvement. They're getting that same schedule, and a lot of teams on that schedule, minus Texas. I think they had Texas early in the year. Florida do. Minus Texas is going to be.
They do. Let's see. I've got that schedule. I can pull it up. Hold on real quick.
We got South Carolina. This is Oklahoma's schedule.
I
think that's going to be an interesting game
I've
too.
got the composite schedule is what I was saying though. So Texas and Florida are.
Let me pull the composite schedule up. I had it.
I've got it right here.
Coach.
Share screen.
They're October 4th.
Okay.
You sharing the screen?
Yeah, not just yet. I'm working out of here. I got you though.
But yeah, while we looking at that, waiting for the schedule to come up, I think, like you said, best defense. I think Florida, and OU right up there at the top. Tier 1. You talking about tiers?
It's there. You can just pull it in.
Talking about tiers of defenses. Like, this is going to be go ahead and expand it.
We gonna definitely be top 4.
I don't know. And I'm being honest, man. See, last year I was excited more so about the scheme change for Alabama. I knew we would have some growing pains, but Alabama's defense looked very dominant the last 5 weeks of college football, even against Michigan in the bowl game. You know, with a lot of guys stepping up, especially up front. We lost a lot of guys to the draft and, you know, whatever injuries. But I think Kirby's running into what Coach Saban ran into the last 3 years, man. The last 3 years of Saban tenure. That scheme, the 3-4 nickel, that scheme.
You gotta have that front. That's our problem. We ain't had them beats up front. That's the problem.
Two gap is the problem in today's game, bro. Like, I don't care what you say. You can't run a system primarily based on the defensive side and depend on your front, your pressure up front with 5 or 6. You can't have a
you got to be able to. You got to be able to get. You have to be able to get pressure without blitzing. You have to be able to get pressure.
There you go. Thank you.
Light boxes and still be able to handle that.
And you can't. You're not going to be able to do that in a old prime. Like, two gap scheme was for heavy run.
You just gotta have the right people That's the thing about it. You can have those special players. When you don't have those special players, it make it hard. You become more paper like.
What we used to see that in when you was able to develop special players, not have them there and be like, oh, you almost there. Take a break this year, but keep doing what you're doing because next year we don't have that no more in college football. So that's what I'm saying is going to affect guys like Kirby Smart, guys like, to me, what's my boy Dabo up at Clemson, who's just now turning on a reliever and hitting the portal. So Kirby's scheme is really going to be tested in this portal era. Kirby has not won, and that's why when you were saying it earlier, and I'm not talking trash, Kirby hasn't played in the national championship in the portal era, right? This is a whole new era of college football. He got to do it.
Nobody has.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody who can sit there.
Other than Ohio State, if you want to say Ohio State.
Jim Harbaugh set the blueprint. He won the first one. Then Ryan Day went and kind of followed the same blueprint, but went a little harder. After finding out ain't no rules about how much money we could spend to get players, Jim could have went harder the first year with Michigan. He could have went harder, and he just had the luxury. He had developed that roster too, man. That Michigan roster was going to be developed regardless. They went and got a few portal pieces, but you look at what's happening now in the portal era, man. Kirby's way of doing it is the same thing that Coach Saban ran into, and you can see it, man. You can see even in how he responds in these interviews, man. These pressers and stuff is different. This ain't the Kirby. This ain't dominant Kirby, king of the world Kirby. So I don't know if that response, the defense, I just don't think it correlates to this new age of college football, man.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, I agree to a certain extent what you're saying too, but at the same time, as a coach, you generally have a certain persona and things that you want to show in public and how you want to do certain things. Although you may not do things or run your program that way, just certain things you have to do and say, and it's a certain stance you have to take. You can't be. It's a very political game too. Not saying you playing politics, but you are playing politics and chess,
especially with money involved now.
And to that point, I said this many a times on other shows. The way things are now, coaches are gonna burn out faster.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna burn out faster.
You wasn't in here when I first started the show. That was one of the two things I said. With the way college football is, it's two primary things going to happen on the base level. First thing we're going to see, I said, first thing is you're going to see a lack of development, and coaches who are into development, building relationships, they're going to stop dealing with this because there's no point in them during the season, in the off season, dedicating 100+ hours a week to be on the road recruiting and telling the guy, this is how I want to develop you and get you to the NFL. You get what I'm saying?
I can see it.
Yeah, I guarantee you the folks can't see it though. That's real small, Jay.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah, like zoom in so we and then you'll be able to. Yeah, we'll scroll across like that. And but then the second thing was, I said coaches was going to leave, but then the second thing was high school recruiting is going to take a hit. Because what's the point in going and trying to build relationships and evaluating when I could just watch guys that's playing every Saturday at the level like the NFL do? The NFL don't go and spend millions of dollars on college recruits in the draft. They have a cap. That's how much they're gonna spend on college recruits, right? So to bring to their team.
It's the trickle down effect. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? It just the money continues to trickle and trickle down, and the more it trickle down, just the more professional each level that was lower gonna become. That's what I'm saying. It's just amazing to me. And that was one of the things I wanted to talk about early in this show when I heard you guys talking, and I just hate to say it, but it's just amazing to me. It's like all of this stuff is just like brand new to people. Like, you didn't never know this stuff was happening. This stuff has always been happening. It's just like, I guess with social media now, it's a little bit more to the forefront, but I'm just talking about we as, coaches and things like that, players, and we act like this stuff has never been happening. It's like when we put rules in. Granted, I understand we need rules that need to be parameters to set some kind of baseline. But it ain't gonna matter. Because the people with the money going to continue to spend more money over whatever baseline you set up under the table, behind closed doors, like it always.
They're acting like they're going to be able to stop the NIL train, and they're not. That you know what? They're talking about that clearinghouse bullshit. The clearinghouse is what's holding it up because that ain't gonna. They don't give a fuck about that. I can promise you they don't give a fuck about that.
And Smoke, you know this to be 100% true. Go ahead, Jay.
No, the small the other conferences, the two smaller ones, ACC and the Big 12, are praying to God that you can get that through with that, because if not, and you're hearing a lot of people saying a lot of dumb shit, like they're actually trying to have competitive balance, which we know damn well better than what Kirby said last week on that. Come on, that's not what this has ever been about. It's not what it's ever going to be about. This is not going to happen, man. This is
right.
Not going to happen.
And the sad thing is, Jay, I don't think this is going to be a drawn out process. I think in the next 3 years we'll see college football it be first. I don't even think it's going to happen.
Like when you're going to see it really change, right?
I don't think it's going to immediately affect what happens at the professional level. I think the way high school kids are recruited is going to take a big hit, and you're going to see the market for that part of the industry just die off because it's going to be taken over by agents. That's what's happening. You're
It's gonna be like AAU basketball.
You're going to have more kids dedicated to travel 7-on-7 and summer. I guarantee you, we're going to see it soon. We already seen the summer leagues, but you remember there used to be a cutoff like 13U. I guarantee you we have a 16U in the next few years, a 17U. Like, and people are going to try to make sense of having your child play contact football year round for $1. Like that's going to hurt the game so bad. But that's a whole nother show conversation we could have on another night, y'all. I think we're going to bring that one back. But college football, is it dying? We're going to have that conversation. And Smoke, I'm definitely going to bring you on for that. But we kind of we was having a conversation about the best defense coming into 2025. I think we all kind of on the consensus is Oklahoma and Florida right up there at the top in the SEC, right? I think we all.
I didn't say Oklahoma.
What? Who'd you say? Well, I know you're gonna say Georgia, but
I'm just saying we ain't on no consensus with Oklahoma. That's all I'm saying.
So, but we can say, can we say they up there though? Like, can we? I think Oklahoma probably on paper. We're just talking about on paper, guys. We're talking about on paper. How they ended last year. On paper, they didn't lose a lot. They ended last year strong. Oklahoma did.
Well, let's just give a top four.
Top four. I'm going number 1, Florida. Number 2, Oklahoma. Number 3, I'm going to go. I'm trying to think. I don't have no faith in Texas. I don't have no faith in South Carolina. I don't have no faith. I'm talking about teams that just kind of were kind of getting a lot of
lost a lot more than people think they did.
Exactly. As good as they looked last year, they lost so much production. Same thing with Bama from the year previous. We lost on the defensive side. We lost 68% of our production. That's over half your production. No, it was 71% on the defensive side, and then 84% on the offensive side. You get what I'm saying? So like you lost so much production. Texas is going to feel that this year. So I can't put them there. So 1. Florida, 2 Oklahoma, number 3.
They schedules a pie.
Yeah, but it's still you got scheme issues that's going to happen, bro. The first 4 weeks going to make your numbers look worse than what they really are. we see. I give 3 to Georgia, and I say 4. Bama is right there. Bama is right there. I think because of the talent, scheme, you're going to see Bama take a big leap forward. I think Oklahoma with Venables, the best defensive mind in the game. I put him in front of Kirby Smart when it comes to defense. We've seen Brett Venables' system really transcend and carry through, I want to say, 2 phases of college football in the past 12, 15 years. Two styles of college football. We've seen a Brett Venables style defense. So those are my top 4. I got Florida, Oklahoma, Georgia, Bama. Top 4.
Okay, go ahead, Shawty. You go ahead.
I'm pretty close to that.
I
got Florida, Texas, Bama, Georgia.
Tell me why Texas.
Yeah, I got it.
Just because of their schedule. I think I
can listen to you for saying that because they got 41 new guys before this portal run right now coming in. And most of these dudes are all either freshmen or redshirt freshmen.
But listen, out of everybody we said, they got the softest schedule out of everybody in that top four I mentioned.
That's a fact. But here's where I'm saying, and I think that, but it isn't too. They still got to play you guys. They got to play Ohio State on the road in the first game of the season. I'm talking.
I'm just talking about yearly numbers. I think it's going to average out. I think their schedule is going to help their yearly number average out. They will end up statistically a top defense.
They're going to be. They might be one of the top defenses at the end, but who'd you have? Oklahoma. You had Florida, Texas. Who?
I had
Florida, Texas,
Bama, Georgia.
Okay, no Oklahoma in your top four, huh?
Not in the top four. Not in the top four.
But and then let me tell you why Oklahoma's number one.
No hate, no shade, no hate.
I don't care. No, I'm good with this. I can make my argument. I'm good with it. Oklahoma's the number one. And then I'm with you guys on Florida. I'm with you. And I think Texas probably ends up in the top four as far as statistics are concerned. I think Alabama's right there too. And I think Georgia's going to be right there because Georgia's always right there.
You guys are going to go from top. You guys going to go from maybe 50 to number one.
We weren't 50. No, we weren't. We
just talking about the league. Where were y'all in the league? Like what?
And last year, Oklahoma's defense.
They were the most.
I'll come about it.
In which metric are we looking at? But if you talk, they were the most efficient defense in the league. Period.
Yeah, they were number one.
But I'm saying y'all finna take a major leap is what I'm saying. You saying y'all finna take a major leap?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even that major a leap. They were top 20.
That's a major leap, folks. 20.
And this is what I said earlier. My top two. If you think about how Florida and Oklahoma finished last year, right? You wouldn't think that they had good defenses, but that wasn't neither team's problem. Florida nor Oklahoma had their defense. Even with injuries, they still were able to field and scheme up quality defenses to keep them in games. Their offenses failed them horribly last year.
What Jake's saying, a lot of it had to do with the fact you didn't have an offense that could stay on the fucking field. And you got to have we talk about this all the time, complimentary football.
So what they
you got 9 3-and-outs in a row in the Texas game. 9 3-and-outs in a row.
So what they finish at?
Who that? Oklahoma as far as defensive rankings?
I'm gonna look them all up right now, but because there's a bunch of them, but I can tell you that they were good in a lot of places.
But you don't have to. But ultimately, you're saying y'all gonna make a pretty major leap, is what I'm saying.
Here's the thing, though. Yes, okay,
and that's possible. Okay, I'll just
let me tell you why. But let me explain to you why I feel that way. Number one, again, you only play 2 quarterbacks this is their second year of being a starter, only 2. So, and that includes, and I think a lot of people are giving they already were giving a lot of credit to Missouri. They got a new quarterback that wasn't a starter at Penn State. I don't know what they think they got. They lost almost everything they had, and they're on the road. I don't see it. I don't see Mizzou's going to fall off the map this year. Then you've got Ole Miss. Ole Miss is, listen, I like Simmons as much as the next guy, but they lost a lot, and they didn't get crazy in the portal like they did last year. They get to come to OU too. Then Texas, listen, I know everybody wants to just put the crown on Arch now and give him the Heisman and shit, but he's got 4 new offensive linemen out of 5. He's got all new receivers pretty much, at least the starters. They didn't replace them all with a bunch of dudes. Like, I know that they love their 2 guys that they just got in the portal. Look at their numbers. Big whoopty shit. They talk about, I mean, look, they're talking about, man, I love this one that they keep on trying to act like Ryan, what's his name is Ryan Williams. And he ain't. He had 100 yards. Trey Wingo. They think Trey is. Yeah, he's not. It's Ryan Wingo.
Ryan. I don't know why I call him Trey.
Yeah, Who's Trey Wingo? Yeah, I don't know why.
Trey Wingo is from that BT show, The Game. Shout out to my cousin Sanchez Jose, man. You know what I'm talking about, Smoke?
Yeah. Trey Wingo, I already know what you're talking about too.
What it was, the San Diego Sabres, baby. That's who he is.
Penn State sports. Are you silly? And then here, look, I'm just gonna tell you, man. When it comes to
sports talk, we could bring you on. We got about 30 minutes.
Your damn mind, man. Out your damn mind.
Hey, We can break them all, bro. We got about
Hey,
30
hey,
minutes left.
they beat
Now,
SMU. They
Penn
beat
State should
SMU
be solid
and
now. They
Boise.
should be solid.
Well, they should have
Penn
been.
State.
Yeah, hey, man, they beat SMU and Boise in the world. You know, they're good for them.
You know they a dog team. They be SMU and Boise. They what? No, Penn State's that team.
Mm-hmm.
I love when Penn State fans come around.
Still ain't won a big game. Still ain't won a big game.
They can't. They won't. They refuse to. They refuse to.
See, that's why the playoffs save.
Yeah, you know they're
It save coaches like him.
Mhm.
The playoffs save coaches like him.
You know what, bro? You said something so true just now. The playoffs, I believe, is going to save a lot more coaches because you can literally. We saw Arizona State do it.
Mm-hmm.
Were they not a 3-loss team?
Yeah.
Did we not see SMU do it?
It had a bye.
And it had that. But then we saw how they tried to hold on to Miami with that weak schedule. No ranked wins. And tried to hold on to them. But then you look at South Carolina, Ole Miss, Alabama, teams that actually had ranked wins, like strength of schedule them. This is a funny thing. And this is going to save coaches because you can't fire a coach that just went to the playoffs. Right. I don't care if he did go 7-5 and make it to the playoffs. You can't fire him.
Yep. Although like Lane Kiffins of the world and what's the guy at Penn State? What is his name? I can't think his name.
James Franklin.
James Franklin. Yeah, like that saved their life.
Frankly awful. Awful.
12 spot. Now you finna go to 16 here pretty shortly.
Man,
that finna save a lot of jobs.
That Big Ten is tough, let me tell you.
Listen, I tell you what though, I will say this as far as the defenses though, I think we will see a more top heavy spread as far as like your tiers, and that's why I wanted to say earlier when I rank my top 4, I think right now you have 2 tier 1 teams that I think will come back with proven guys, proven production.
Oh, you talking about defensively? What you mean
defensively? In tiers. I like to do like 3 tiers. You got your tier 1, which is like you guys, you know you're going to be there. I put Oklahoma and Florida right there defensively, and right there on the edge, hanging on, not sure because you know it's Kirby Smart. You know he's going to have talent. You just wait to see what happens. Week 2, you'll know what Georgia's defense is going to be like the rest of the season. I really that's been Kirby's MO for his whole career since he's been at Georgia as a head coach. You see that defense show up week 2, week 3, and they don't miss a beat the rest of the season. You might have one off game, away game, night game type jump, but Georgia is right there. And then same thing with Bama. They're in that tier 2 spot. You got a couple teams that's going to be replacing some players like Ole Miss, who ended up having a sneaky good defense last year.
They lost that whole damn thing. They lost the whole damn thing.
But Pete Golden did something different last year with a whole new room, like a whole new personnel grouping.
I mean, he had a lot of studs, bro.
And that pissed me off because he ain't do none of that shit over at Bama. And I mean, not no year. All them years at Bama, you had all these doggone number 1, number 2 recruiting class, and you couldn't scheme up.
What's your top 2 offensive tier team? What's your top 2 teams offensively? Your top tier. Give me 2 teams in your top tier.
Okay, and yes, I do. It's Easter week. It's Easter weekend. I can't be cussing on live television. I know I'd be playing at church or something. Let me stop.
I got LSU as one of my teams for sure.
Let's go. Give me your 4. Give me your 4.
Well, I'm talking about 2 in the top in your top tier.
Top 2 SEC.
Offensively. Yeah, offensively.
Oh yeah, LSU's got to be one of them.
Top.
For sure.
Are you saying top 2 or top tier?
Like you said, you had, like you said in your defense, you said you had 2 teams in your top tier.
Okay.
Which was Oklahoma and Florida. They was in your top tier. So offensively, give me the same thing, basically the counterpart. Offensively,
man,
I got LSU, Bama.
LSU, Bama,
Bama. Offensively,
he and I believe you going off of the fact that you got Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer back in the mix with an Alabama roster talent and roster. Like that's.
I mean, it ain't that hard. It ain't that damn hard.
Hey, as bad as listen to this, Shawty. As bad as everything was last year, Jalen Milroe at Alabama was still the number 4 ranked offense in the SEC, bro. We were better than a quarter of
Yeah, but Jalen Miro's accounted for a lot of that, and he gone.
Hold up,
They
no.
did that
He
with
also
Milroe.
accounted for
That's
a lot of what was
limited.
wrong with their ass too. He also accounted for a lot of what was wrong
But
with it.
at the end of the
I'm not
day, he
hating on
accounted
it.
for a lot that he made.
I like him as an athlete, but he couldn't hit the broadside of a damn barn
on,
whenever
man.
he needed to.
So
I'm
if
with
they
you.
were,
You know how I felt
Shawty,
about him.
Shawty, if they were limited with Milroe, imagine what's going to happen when they actually able to open it up, and they were still able to be top 4 in the SEC. So I'm with Jason. I'm gonna have to put my tide up there.
That's yet to be seen, man.
I'm gonna have to put my tide up there for top tier, and then
In the SEC,
offensively,
Right.
top tier in the SEC, and then offensively, the other team, I'm gonna have to.
Gotta be LSU.
It gotta be. I know LSU is there. That's no question.
You got
But
3 in your top tier: Alabama, LSU, and somebody else in your top tier.
Yeah,
If
just
we're going
because.
if we're going 3, I wouldn't. Well, go ahead.
Who me get? Oklahoma.
Nah, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't sleep on Oklahoma.
Wait and see. Hey, you know what? They just brought in Jaden Ott. They've got the best quarterback in the portal, and they've got receivers.
Nico in the portal now. You can't say Maytier is the best quarterback in the portal no
You
more.
want to bet? He had fucking almost 5,000 yards last year.
But I will say Oklahoma is going to be somebody to watch because they did go and get the coordinator
Right there with
and the
them,
quarterback
too,
from
right
Washington.
there with them too as an offense. But I don't know.
I think LSU or Alabama right now is my top tier right now, for real. Like straight up. Because I think Alabama, no matter who you put at the quarterback position right now, it's going to work.
I think we could see. You're always going to see Ole Miss is gonna challenge for that. Billy and the boys at Florida. I don't know. We'll see what is Lagway take a step, and they've got some because they got some talent too.
Yeah, I think a Florida year this year for Florida is like they going to probably struggle first 5 weeks.
They're scared.
And then they last stretch of the season they turn it over, and then people like, dang, Florida's going to be good next year. Not this year though. I don't think they're offensively. I don't think they're going to be dominant or anything to worry about. So
they're going to have to be the best defense in the SEC to get to 9 wins or whatever.
Yeah. I said 7-8 wins for Florida this year.
You think they get 9 wins this year?
I don't think they
get to 9. It means they had the best defense and their offense was humming at above where it probably should with Lagway right now. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. Because I'm not expecting a seismic change from Florida's offense this year. I think they get better, but I don't think they get to the point where they're like, this is who we are. Like they're going to have to figure that out this year. While their defense is still should be at a high point, and then later on in the season, you see them starting to compete against some of your top tier teams that they're going to, because they get Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Florida State at the end of the year. You know,
Nico
teams
is the best quarterback in the portal, though, bro. Why is he going to UCLA? Don't give me that shit.
Well, UCLA, the only state that could pay him the max amount with the least amount of taxes. That's why. That's why.
Not true. That they got the most.
No, they got the most taxes. Yeah, they got the most taxes
in California.
Yeah.
I'll read the laws around the NIL, brother.
Oh, you better go look again.
Go look at the chart. Go look at the chart, bro. Go look at the chart. What he was guaranteed, not what the contract saying. Who was being paid out? What California gives you more power. How you pay out this percentage to this agent, this that, all of that stuff. That's why he ended up staying with UCLA.
Oh, I know regular taxes. They one of the highest.
Oh yeah, we know that.
I'm gonna have to see that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to see that. There wasn't a better quarterback in the portal though than John Mateer.
I don't know. I think Mateer benefited from being in the pack. I think he benefited from being in the broken.
More of a Mountain West schedule than they did anything, but you still have to look at the bottom line. Is the guy freaking put up almost 1,000 rushing yards and had almost 4,000. Yeah, 44 touchdowns. Look,
that's impressive.
Yeah, and Jaden Ott, bro.
But this is a different league, right?
Why do y'all keep giving Carson Beck this credit? He's garbage, man. Like, what is?
Whoa, hold on, garbage.
Carson Beck, garbage, bro. Carson Beck is garbage.
He had a bad year last year, man. He did.
Carson Beck is garbage.
He's not.
I don't want the schedule no more. Y'all don't want the schedule up no more.
Oh, he's not. Oh, we led the league in drops.
He's garbage, man. I just don't see
it. Not garbage. Now, come on, not garbage.
All right, he better than Mac Jones, former Alabama quarterback Mac Jones.
Garbage man.
Come on, man.
Garbage man.
Man, you tripping. Coach, now you got to start the hate. Now, don't start the Georgia hate. Now, I had to cut the faucet off. I had to cut the faucet
But
off.
he ain't even at Georgia no more. He at Miami now.
True, I get it, but God, dog.
Yeah, did Carson even did he bring you a natty, or was it the other boy Stetson?
Oh, listen, we can't win the Natty every year.
I'm just saying, why you got so
You
much
know,
loyalty to that noodle arm joker?
Let's not act like y'all are just heads above everybody right now, bro.
Look,
That's my point. But y'all
Look,
want to act like we just supposed to win it every year.
what do you mean, y'all? That's how y'all act with Bama.
You're the best team in the country. You're supposed to win it.
Nobody, they don't celebrate. Nobody in the country gets celebrated more for missing the playoffs than Alabama. Ohio State can miss. Everybody like they was trash anyway.
That's a fall off.
That's
you didn't make the 12-team playoff. 12
because of some technicalities. We beat y'all. Think about it. Y'all were in and we beat y'all. So you're telling me,
Coach? I didn't ask how the sandwich was made. I didn't ask how you made the sandwich. I didn't ask how you made the sandwich. All I know is you didn't get a sandwich.
Hey, Shawty, answer this. Let's use transitive property to support your argument.
Now you want to go into. Now he want to go into the ingredients.
You see, he don't want to do it.
Hey, look, now he want to go into the ingredients. Listen,
he don't want to do it. He don't want to use the same concept to help your statement. I'm trying to help
y'all didn't get in the club. Now I don't know why you didn't get in the club. I don't know if you had your ID. You ain't have enough money.
Left the ID at home. That's all. We
couldn't get in the club.
We just left it at home, and SMU and Arizona State brought them fake IDs. They brought them fake IDs.
And Boise get in instead.
And they brought them fake IDs in. Them and Penn State.
Indiana's sorry.
Indiana, right?
They got it in, folks. That's all that matters.
Well, next time we're gonna ask who y'all got y'all fake ID from, because y'all let Notre Dame come in the club and just put y'all out y'all whole section. Y'all didn't even put up.
Hold on, we had the gold card. We had the SEC championship. We had the gold card.
Took y'all section. They came and they was drinking out y'all bottles. They weren't even poured it in cups. They was drinking out the bottle, straight out the bottle.
You just asked how we got in. That's how we got in. We had a gold card.
They said y'all came through the back door.
No, we had a gold card.
Yeah, they said y'all came through the back door and got
when you play Texas in a big game, that Texas is gonna gag its ass off. They don't never beat the teams that have equal talent or close to equal talent.
It ain't our fault, y'all. It ain't our fault, y'all sent. It ain't our fault, y'all sent Texas.
Hey, Carson Beck wasn't committed to Bama. That was Jake Fromm, buddy. That was Jake Fromm. And you see what happened with Jake Fromm. He seen that boy come on the same class as him. Jake said, wait, you bringing him? Nah, we good. I'm going to go up the street. I'm going to talk to Kirby. Kirby's down there in Houston County every week trying to get Jake Fromm, boy.
It's showing us lonely up here at the top, man. I'll tell you.
At the top? What you mean? I think Ohio State. You an Ohio State fan? You an Ohio State fan? You know that's what they doing now. I can't get on NCAA without playing an Ohio State user.
So, Cole, let me ask you this. I asked Jason this in a previous show. So,
what did you say?
If Big Ten wins a natty this year, are they the best conference now? Have they passed the torch? That'll be 3 in a row. That'll be 3 in a row.
That would give them an argument because that's when it started for the SEC. Let's just be unbiased. It would give them an argument, no matter how they do it, whether they buy the roster, whatever they do. They're able to put together the best team in the country.
No, they can have the best team in the country and not have the best conference in the country, Smook.
It correlates though, Jason.
At the end of the day. If they're in that conference,
they had the best team arguably in the country 2 years ago, but they definitely had the best team in the country this past season. When you put it all together, and they did put it all together for the playoff.
Yeah.
They had the best team. That didn't mean that sorry ass conference is as good as the SEC.
This is where I'm gonna be unbiased in the argument. You know I'm SEC diehard. But I'm gonna be unbiased in the argument because
before you say that, does Penn State get to the playoff from the SEC? Does Indiana get to the playoff from the SEC?
I can't say. You want me to tell you why? Because the past 3 years, SEC versus Big Ten postseason record, in-season record, Big Ten has the edge there too. Week 1, week 0. No, stop.
Head-to-head matchups.
Head-to-head matchups. Week 0 and week 1. SEC versus Big Ten. Big Ten has the edge right now. The only teams that's keeping the SEC afloat, it ain't Oklahoma, Texas. It's Bama, Georgia. It's handling the Wisconsins and the Nebraskas and all those teams that we get thrown from the Big Ten during the season. And then postseason, all of us suffering because don't nobody want to play in a bowl game. So if you just looking up until you see it head to head in season, like which I think it will be, and once this transfer to the Super League, but until you see
Oklahoma plays Michigan this year and next year. They got Texas playing Ohio State the next 2 years too.
Those will be telltale signs.
That doesn't. I don't. But we're talking about at the very top of whatever you. I mean, you can talk about the top teams, and that's fine. You can say they got the best team. They didn't have the best conference, and we both know that.
Hold on. I'm just being unbiased for sake of argument. I believe if you took rank 1 SEC versus rank 1 Big Ten, you have a good matchup. I think 1 through 3, you have good matchups. 1 through 3. I think now with the SEC though, you go 4 through 12 or 4 through 14, and then what's left in the Big Ten because it ain't 10 no more. It's more than 10, right? It's like 12 of them, right?
16 or 18.
Yeah. So and you go 4 through 12 in each conference. I think you start seeing the difference because I don't think Ole Miss can just decisively handle Iowa State or whoever.
They beat the shit out of Penn State 2 years ago.
2 years ago, but look, that was 2 years ago when Portal was not a thing. Now Penn State's benefiting from Portal.
I'm talking a year before this past season, they beat the brakes off of them.
That's bro. Just look at it for a sake of argument. You're talking about Penn State, Ole Miss 2 years ago. Look at Penn State this year,
bro. You know damn good and well that Penn State.
And then look at what they're doing in recruiting.
They wouldn't have beaten Ole Miss this year.
I don't know. Ole Miss, Pete Golden had a defense that show up 3 times this year.
Penn State versus Ole Miss
this year. Ole Miss this year had a struggling offense this year in a lot of games too, against a team in Penn State who had nothing but defense. They didn't have an offense at all.
That's a good matchup.
So you look at that matchup, you can't decisively say that Ole Miss would have won. I don't trust Jackson Dart.
Penn State beat the only team we've seen Penn State beat was SMU and Boise. And USC, whoopty shit. They beat USC on the road.
And these are teams that come on, man. I'm just saying for the sake of argument. At the end of the day, I think is this. When you look at it, if the Big Ten is able to produce another national champion, they're in the conversation. They have to be. Now, you can't just automatically unseat the SEC because I think we went on a 9-year stretch before another conference did it, or was it 12 years? That we did.
The first 12 years, you had 3 non-SEC teams that did it. Ohio State did it once, and then you had twice from Clemson that they won. Yep.
So,
but hold on, that's a whole different deal too, though. Winning it in a 14 playoff and winning it in the 12 is a different deal, man.
Exactly, and so. For the sake of argument, that's why I was saying you
don't get those cupcakes into it, and going through the early rounds or any of that other shit.
Oh, we open up another can of worms now. That's what we're saying. Like all that strength of schedule and all that stuff. You can't really decisively say who the better team is when
they get beat in the Big Ten championship game by Oregon, and Oregon first game is up against Ohio State. Their first 2 games are against Boise and SMU.
All the team that had bye and lost though. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then think about this. Look what Ole Miss did last year against.
Too much time off.
Look what Ole Miss did last year against Georgia, right? Everybody talking about how bad they beat Arkansas the week before, another SEC opponent, right? But then they come in against Georgia, and that offense looks dead. And Georgia's offense was struggling against Ole Miss until the second half. I think the score ended up being like 28-7 or 28-10, something like that last season. So you go in a game where Penn State brings to the table the same thing Georgia does, it might end up being a similar type situation. So that's why I say you got to look at it more than just what the conference, because Penn State struggled against other Penn
7-5 in the SEC with no offense.
True.
7-5.
I believe that, but I think you look at Ole Miss schedule last year.
What does Indiana do? That other playoff program, that really good playoff program.
I think you look at even like you throw that at Indiana and Penn State, but you look at Ole Miss last year. How many games did they go into where they one possession lead or one possession win against sub 500 teams in the SEC? You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of. You get what I'm saying? For the sake of argument, it could be awesome
I think
debate.
that they underachieved. I do think that they underachieved.
100%. 100%.
I do, but I also think, and I think that Alabama underachieved too. But I also think that they were better than at least 3 teams that were in. I mean, now you can't say nothing about Arizona State because they won the conference championship. They're getting in. Yeah. That's part of it, right? Yeah. As far as Boise is concerned, I guess you could argue that if you want, they're the highest rated G5, so they were going to get in. But there ain't no way in hell you can make me believe that SMU belonged in that field because they didn't.
They didn't.
Indiana was against a 3-loss Dan Clemson.
But based off their conference, they deserve to get in.
Oh, they did.
And that's the debate.
That's why they got in based off their
Oregon.
That's
Ohio
why they got
State,
in.
Penn State. That's why Indiana got in because of Oregon, Ohio State, and Penn State.
Yeah.
And then I think we forget that Oregon is in that conference now. Like that's a quality conference, man. Like, I mean, we could kind of lay off of the Big Ten right now.
Top heavy. It's top heavy.
Like the SEC has been for the most up until NIL recently. Let's be real. In the SEC, it was Alabama, Georgia, LSU. And then you would have Florida pop in one year and then they'll disappear. Auburn will pop in one year, they'll disappear. And then somebody else will act like they want to pop in for the first 4 weeks and then they'll disappear. But it was always Alabama, LSU, and Georgia.
That's what I'm saying. The power could be shifting. Think about what if Oregon wins it? I'm just saying.
Tennessee just recently got back in the
three different teams from the same conference, man, that don't want it. 3 different teams. That's
Tennessee losing that game. I mean, it makes it. I think people are giving a lot to Tennessee lost in the shoe against the best team. Everybody got beat by them in the playoff. And we're talking like Tennessee was trash last year. They weren't.
They weren't.
They had a damn good defense. And Dylan Sampson was a bad dude. They just weren't going to get nothing going over there. Bro, C. John said it. Stop your swimming. Last year, Purdue, UCLA, Maryland, Michigan State, Iowa, Nebraska, Illinois. Illinois is probably number 4. UW or Wisconsin and Washington, all trash.
Okay.
And then Michigan and USC. I mean, 7-5, 6-6.
Wait, what is
USC was?
Who is he talking about though?
So what?
This ain't even the Big Ten. What is he talking about?
Well, that's all Big Ten. Illinois. He's talking the University of Illinois, Wisconsin, Washington, Minnesota is also in this list. Maryland, Michigan State, Iowa, Purdue, UCLA. That's all Big Ten teams.
No, what is he? But what's the point he's making?
He's saying you can't. They're not. I mean, there's no way that
he's trying to say that they don't compare to the SEC.
It's not as good as the SEC.
All right,
it's not from week
argument.
The
argument. I'm gonna shut it down right now. I ain't gonna shut it down. I'm gonna just make another case. Check this out. So I'm gonna go down this list. I don't care how you put them. I'm not basing it
off of South Carolina, J-Jack. I'll just give you that one. I'll give you Illinois over South Carolina, because Beamer sucks at this thing. But I get it.
But look, just going down the list: Purdue, UCLA, Maryland. All right, so past our top 5, right? Just off of last year's conference standings, right? South Carolina would be the 5th team on this list. If I took last year's Texas A&M and put them up against Purdue, that's a game, Jason. A&M was so up and down last year. Come on, bro. Purdue had spots. Watch. Keep going. UCLA versus Ole Miss. We might see a sizable matchup.
8-4, and they played a tougher schedule.
UCLA, Missouri. So you saying Missouri and Iowa or Missouri and Maryland wouldn't have been a good game that could have been a toss-up? Florida, the way their offense struggled last year, yeah, they had defense, but so did everybody else in the Big Ten. Big Ten suffered from not having enough offense in their conference. Look, let's keep going down the list. Iowa versus Arkansas. That's not a game, Jason. That's not one we can watch on a Friday night. Come on, bro.
It is a Friday night game, right?
Exactly. Vanderbilt, as much as noise they made with Diego and them boys, Vanderbilt against Nebraska is a perfect matchup. You got to think that Nebraska defense.
I like Vandy.
I like Vandy, but think about it. Dylan Raiola has a chance to go crazy against Vanderbilt. Come on now. That's two teams where the opposites. Come on. Still going down the list. We're talking about Nebraska now. UI, who is that?
That's Illinois.
Illinois. We saw what Illinois did.
Illinois. It was Illinois. They were fifth in the league.
Come on, but you got to think. Look at the rest of the SEC now. Oklahoma last year. We're talking about last year. Oklahoma, Auburn, Kentucky, Mississippi State. You're trying to tell me Washington, UW, UI, Nebraska, Michigan, USC. These teams couldn't have played with those teams in the SEC and gave us like a real man.
Not
they
Nebraska,
actually look like
not Nebraska. Not Michigan State. Not UW maybe, but not really. I mean, shit. Washington State beat them.
You can't. You look at the bottom half of the SEC and decisively say that they would go in and dominate the bottom half of the Big Ten. If you was to make everything top heavy and bring all the top heavy teams, both top 5 teams to a conference, and then let the bottom halves, a lot of that conference, there wouldn't be a top heavy team.
Okay, so you're talking about 1 year, right? And there was just as many trash teams. If you want to say there was as many trash teams in the SEC, okay, fine. But I mean, I don't agree with it. But even if let's just say you're right, when are we gonna see this on a consistent basis now?
With the portal NIL talent spread is
but listen, 3 years would be pretty consistent. Like winning natties,
national championships notwithstanding. I'm talking about conferences.
That's what I'm saying, Jason. Like the
talent spread. He's saying the bottom half ain't no different. It's the same. It's a lot of pushes in there. Like you're going in there to be like.
That's how we're going to argue this. Let me ask you this question: when Clemson won its 2 natties and was going to the playoff every year, was the ACC better than either of those other conferences?
No, but you also didn't have people transferring into the ACC. It wasn't an attractive conference. Now with money involved, that's what I'm saying, Jason. The past 3 years, the Big Ten has been the only conference that's been able to say, hey, let's capitalize on portal, NIL, put together, and produce a team that's winning the natty. SEC hasn't been able to do it with just recruiting. We're just now seeing teams like Georgia, Alabama finally open the freaking checkbook.
But come on. But we're talking about Michigan was supposedly the best team the year before that. I don't know that they were, because I think Georgia should have probably been. I mean, they fucked it off not beating y'all in the SEC championship game. But if Georgia gets in there, who's going to beat them out of any of those?
Edit it out.
Edit it out.
Don't edit it out. I said it.
Hey.
Sorry that I said the F word, but
no, you good. You good.
There's no way. I think Georgia beats the rest of that playoff field.
I agree.
And that's what everybody. I think
Alabama, because Georgia doesn't always beat Alabama. In fact, they hardly ever do.
Which is the reason why we call him little brother. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, Shawty. That wasn't me. That was.
I'll be honest with you. I respect it, man. You know, because y'all.
Hey, it's respect.
Oh yeah, I can't do it. I can't really much. I can't say.
We do the same thing with LSU. I think it's like that with winning programs. You get tired of beating up on trash Auburn. We know what they do. They're gonna pop up every 6 years, surprise us, and then completely leave the face of the earth for another 10. We good with that. We could deal with that. That's the way of life in the SEC. Jason, you'll learn. I know you're new to the SEC now. You'll get it with Auburn.
You covered college football for a long
time. I know. This was kind of like it was your welcome to the second family reunion moment. And look, last year when cousin them got drunk and was fighting, that happened every year. Don't worry about it. Police ain't got to come out here. Don't worry about it. But this year, I'm telling y'all, man, it's going to be, like I said, if the Big Ten can do it this year, we got to put them in the conversation, Jay. That's all I'm saying. As a conference, they're doing something consistently.
Got to be a conversation.
Well, you need to win. I mean, they don't. First off, don't let them win the natty this year. I'm not saying.
Please don't. But I can't deal with it, because
then there is an argument. But I mean, I would still tell you that I don't buy it.
Me now, real me. I don't think you can really look at
the bottom of the conference. I don't think there's anything as tough as the middle of the SEC in comparison to every other conference.
So I'll go as far as to say this, Jason.
You can lose every week in this league.
Your top 10 teams in the SEC can really be 6 of your 12 spots currently in the playoffs. and you have a quality. This could be your top 15, 6 of your top 15 teams in the country. And they showed last year. You seen the 2 lost teams that we were holding on to in the top 20 for the longest.
10 teams?
I'm
talking about football, right? Not basketball.
Yeah, 10 teams in the SEC right now, and I'm looking at you talking about just last year: Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, LSU, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Missouri, Florida.
A&M, if A&M beats Texas,
no, and somebody else you said no.
I'm not taking Arkansas. I'm not taking Arkansas. We know they got them two lucky conference wins. We saw that happen. And Vandy,
that was false gold, fake gold.
Yeah, I think same thing with Vandy. I think Vandy just caught a lot of people by surprise, and like Manziel did with A&M
quarterback, and they
did. But outside of that, I mean, they caught everybody by surprise. Everybody that they played, they caught them by surprise. They got enough behind them to believe, and that's what worked for them. You really didn't know how to scheme up.
That's Vandy.
They're gonna have a good year once every 20 years or so.
Yeah, it's Vandy.
Yeah. And then you got to think they went 7-6 with all that noise. Like they didn't do nothing great. Like people continue. They've won 8 games. You know, with Mason. You remember when Mason was there?
One of them with Franklin. Then Franklin win.
Franklin won, and then he got the job at Penn State afterwards.
Right.
So it's not foreign. So I think when you talk about balance, though, it's there in the SEC.
Man, for Franklin, that dude, he just has to reach just so high, you know.
That's it. But y'all,
sandwich that like, hey, Shawty always say they don't get tired of that sandwich in Happy Valley, I guess.
They will. Trust me, they will.
Look, in this day and age, they got to. But y'all, that's gonna be it tonight, man. I done went way over my time. I'm supposed to do 2 hours, but that's what happens when you having fun, man. That's what happens when you having fun. And fellas, tomorrow's Friday, so if y'all ain't doing nothing, I plan on going live tomorrow night.
Y'all gonna jump on with me in the morning, Smook?
Yeah, we could do our morning thing. Friday morning.
And Shawty, if you
do one at noon too.
I don't know what you got going tomorrow. It's Good Friday, but
yeah, I'm actually off tomorrow, man. That's why I'm on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Dent coming on for sure. And then so if you want to pop in, let me know.
Will do.
Let's get the gang in here tomorrow. Have another good show, man. Carla Hinton, how you keep missing? We've been live for 2.5 hours. It's 3:00 in the morning. You just not popping in, girl. What you doing, girl? You out there eating Frosted Flakes, eating cold milk, and drinking cereal milk? What you? I'm just playing. What's up, girl? Good to see you. Hey. Oh man, hey, Oklahoma ganja grower, man. You become one of my favorite buddies, man.
He's my dude, man. He's my boy. Ganj.
Mm-hmm. And y'all, appreciate y'all for coming on for real, man, and bringing some more attention. If y'all haven't, go make sure y'all go check out my brother Jason Watkins, Hall of Fame Jason, over on the Hall of Fame College Football channel here on YouTube. Make sure you follow my brother JW_ Hall of Fame on Twitter. And then my brother Shawty, man, the Georgia man. Listen, I don't have many Georgia enemies, bro. Like fans, supporters, our beef is like the family beef you want. It's just like with Auburn. I don't hate Auburn fans. Like we hate each other, but it's not like you get what I'm saying? Like
you just kind of don't think of them very much.
We don't until Iron Bowl week. So that's what it is with Georgia fans. Because any other time you can't have another SEC team jump in the Alabama Georgia argument trying to we'll jump on you. You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, just like this screen. We tied our states. We tied at the elbow.
Yeah, we here, man. Look, we here, dog. We here.
Can't have one without the other. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. But is this your? Let everybody know where they can find you, Shawty.
Oh man, you can normally find me on my show, Just My Damn Opinion, man. Whenever I do something on that, but man, you can definitely find me on Respect the Hedges. The season about to start. I think we release a show. I think Tuesday night. On the 22nd, on a Tuesday night at 8:00. Respect the Hedges, man. Check us out, man. All Georgia football, Georgia talk, man.
You already know.
Alabama bashing.
You already know it's good too, because with us just creating this network, I do the live game simulations, and this year I wanted to more so be creators or people that cover the team that aren't necessarily gamers. You know what I'm saying? That's like we really can come on, talk football, have a good time, Me and Travis did it. Tennessee guy did it last year, and that was, a vibe. You know, both of us was trash on the game, but we was having fun, trying to play it as realistic as possible. So we just built a network, and then sports and spades this year is going to be a big breakout. I think bringing panelists with teams talking about their team's big matchups for the weekend, that's going to be good. So looking forward to collab with you, bro. And Jason, you already know what time it is, man. And shout out to everybody, both chats, the fams pulling up, AAA family. I know a lot of y'all sleep, but appreciate everybody for pulling up for the late night vibes. And go ahead, Jason.
No, man. Yeah. Appreciate everybody popping in. Hall of Famers, make sure you get over to Coach Smook's channel and Shawty's channel. I know a lot of you guys are probably already, probably some of you guys see off of, Hall of Fame. There's old Really Flawed. Welcome into the show, Really Flawed. No, man, make sure you guys jump in, go over to Coach Smook's channel, go over to Shawty's channel, become a subscriber if you're not already a subscriber, and get over there to Really Flawed too, man. She actually Texas creator that does a great job. Does a great.
Got to get her on, man. I'm trying to create.
Awesome, dude, I'm still waiting to get her on, but
Jason, you one of few people that know the real master plan over here. So if you feel like that could be a asset, let's do it, man. I'm like this year.
She's awesome, dude.
On everybody's neck. If you trash, you gonna hear me. Don't let it come across my screen because I'm gonna tell you about it. If you're trash,
well, you know that's how we roll.
Don't let it come across my screen because I'm gonna. Let me stop. No, because they get mad when I share my opinion. I don't think it's fair. Everybody else can have their opinion, but not me.
Anything else will be uncivilized, my friend.
You get what I'm saying?
Big facts. Big facts.
Big facts. Tomorrow's Good Friday, so let's keep away from Oklahoma hate soccer.
The creators, though, man. The creators putting in that work, and she puts in that work. Got to give her love.
Solid.
Does a good job.
We'll definitely be getting her in the mix.
Down still. It's still always orange down.
Yeah, man. Right, but I appreciate y'all, fellas, man. I appreciate y'all 100%, man. And we'll catch up again. And like I said, tomorrow, whether it's tomorrow, whenever, we're gonna do this again, chat. We're gonna do this again. And that's it for tonight, man. Chatting with Coach Smook. We got guests Jason Watkins and my brother Shawty Parker. What's your real name? Trey Parker, right?
No, Thad.
I don't know why I keep calling this man Trey. You know why I keep calling you Trey?
Everybody Trey Wingo. And
you know why I keep calling this man Trey? Because I've been talking to Hard Tech Sports, and that's Trey. I've always called him Hard Tech until we had a 2-hour conversation. It's supposed to be a 50. You know how I get on the phone, Jason. Like I get on this stream, get long-winded. But Trey, Trey, you got it. So anything with a T today is Trey. Or yesterday is Trey, but we're going to get this thing right. But appreciate you for coming through, Thad, man. It was 100% Jason. Appreciate y'all boys, man. And that's going to be it for us tonight, man.
Have a good one, man.
Be easy, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Family, y'all be easy. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on the next
one. Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.